I want to start the story with a question. What do you think of when you think of the Last Day on Earth Discord server? Do you think of people screaming about the incoming update? Do you think of the coordination between multiplayer content and players getting together? Or do you think of something else entirely? Me, I get a little bit of everything. But in that muddled mess, there's something, some emotion, that pulled me and so many others to somewhere where we can just go to talk about life, live a little free of every other care in the world. I've personally been a staff member on the server for about 3 years now, 1,095 days. To use the phrase, quote, wild ride would be the understatement of a lifetime. There have been so many highs and lows, ups and downs, from the crazy hype and drop of the ATV updates, all the way to debates with other admins and community managers at 4 a.m. in the morning about something completely pointless and ultimately will never change no matter which way it's spun. I could not be more excited to draw open these curtains, kind of do this documentary, also practice for something in the future, giving kind of an insight into my time on the server. I've been in pretty much every single role there has been, and this ties my record of experiences all together, public and private. There's a ton of stuff I do want to share, so let's get this documentary started. Funny enough, and by some pure coincidence, the day the Discord launched was the day I joined. February 14th, 2018 at 8:14 Central Standard Time, new member 151. And yes, I still hold that position to this day. And I'll be honest here, I joined the server by complete accident. Originally, I joined a completely different server and only happened to stumble on to what was considered to be the quote official server from an announcement on the one I had just joined an hour before. My impressions of the place were cool. A new place, another Discord, I can just promote my videos here. Another one for the list, I probably won't be here that often. If only I knew how that would spiral. On February 23rd, 2018, just mere minutes of this role going live, I got the, quote, small content creator role, which was rebranded in name to upcoming content creator in May of that year. I'd like to thank and claim credit for the creation of this role, even though I now know there were plans for something along the lines before I whined about it a bunch of times. Although the role signified a long road ahead in terms of moving places on the server, a small fish in a big pond that was the server, I was more focused on YouTube and did not really have a care in the world about Discord stuff. What I remember a lot from the time was chaos. Chats were a wild place, described very accurately as the former Wild West of Discord, or more accurately, unfiltered Discord chats to people who really never joined the LDW server. LDW server is very filtered these days, but before it was more of the Wild West. I could find somebody modding only to be publicly humiliated and banned minutes later. One of my favorite memories was lurking in chats, watching two staffs, Necromancer Overlord and Jello, go at a hacker. And on May 22nd, 2018, I saw a message from one of the admins at the time, Zombie Queen, about a face-off contest hosted by Rocky. The part that caught my eye was, it was a contest that had a part requiring recording of your gameplay. Knowing I could probably sweat past any other YouTuber that tried, I entered. The first round quiz I dominated, solid 10 out of 10. However, the second run faltered at a very problematic 6 out of 10, narrowly landing in 10th place at the very bottom of the bracket, barely beating out 11th place by 6 seconds. And after that, well, I remember how ridiculous my profile looked in contrast to everyone else's on that tournament wall. Then the games began. Farm 100 wood, kill 100 zombies, etc. The, quote, efficacious way to take over the competition. Everyone was always opting to go for cheapness or efficiency, and I remember going up against 9th place, a guy with a side-up picture, who cleared out the entirety of the forest with absolutely no armor and no heals. Really did think I was out there for sure. However, I opted for a slightly different strategy, speedrunning. I pushed myself to try a speedrun strategy, and the videos from those contests are still live on this channel to this day in the Face-Off playlist. Even opted to make thumbnails for them, even though I don't think the event organizers cared at all. At 5:30 a.m. Central Standard Time, I woke up to a mention from the lead community manager, Veronica. Somehow, I won. Springboarding into the next month, June, something about that contest left a taste in my mouth. I was a very different content creator going into the contest that I was coming out. And the reason I spend so much time recalling every single little detail about the competition is that this is what really got me going in Discord. What really got me chatting in public chats. Originally, and this feels weird to say this, I definitely had the, quote, content creator ego. The I'm too good for chats kind of attitude. Like it was supposed to be cool, I had a fancy number next to my name in chat. To this day, I'll never really understand how I go from point A of YouTuber ego in the contest to point B of talking in chats. From late May to late June, I was there in public chats, talking about the contest, some random YouTube thingy, a game update, whatever it may be, etc. To older staff watching this, I'm sorry, it hurts to read those messages. I can still see the YouTuber ego and naivete seeping through. These days, it's still kinda there, but I make jokes about it. On June 18th, I got contacted by one of the newer server guides, and a little while later, an admin came by and asking about overall game knowledge and life stuff. Cool, stuff simple to answer. I won the face-off, so I'd like to think I know at least a little bit about the game. Yet, as time spun its wheels, nothing. The days flew by, ghosted by the staff who had sent those very messages. I remember at that time, there were a group of people on the Last Standard server who really pushed the peak of popularity of the voice chats every single day at every single moment. I'd like to think that this group talked to me because I was the only content creator who even considered coming to public chats, but I'm certain they were just nice to everybody. Some of that group I still know and would almost consider friends today. On June 28th, 2018, while I was half listening to a voice chat, half on the electric guitar, sitting somewhere, I heard a deep yet distinct voice, "Yo ZD, I need to talk to you about something tomorrow." At first, I thought I was going to get promoted to a higher level content creator role, which was basically, at that time, largely based on merit over numbers, and was actually considered to have some weight. It wasn't just anyone who's anyone can get in. There was actually some level to it. But on June 29th, 2018, I got something totally different. A path that would lead through a totally different route through any other content creator or any other staff member. A new message from one of the other admins, Leo. Wanna be staff. And Leo, if you're reading this, I'm sorry. My reply. Wow, that gibberish hurts to read back. Though I don't want to leak DMs, but trust me, when people speak gibberish, I know what they mean. It's little moments like these that play back in my mind when I kind of think back about my experiences on the Last Standard Discord. The good moments. Do I ever regret taking Leo's offer? On June 30th, while I was walking out of the guest room from my house, I got a lengthy paragraph of what an LDUE staff member really is and the nuance behind it. Minutes later, while I was promoted to apprentice, the original version, basically the training period for staff. And 1 week later, on July 7th, 2018, whilst in the middle of a Whole Foods grocery store, I got promoted to server guide and a flood of messages from staff members. I titled this next section The Enjoyment Era, since it's really the most fun I've had on the Discord on a staff level in the entire journey. You're blissfully ignorant of all of the chaos in the Discord, but elevated enough to see some of the good behind-the-scenes workings. Just going in your day in everyday life, talking in chats, taking part in the occasional voice chat event, and that's really it. Everything else, all the not-so-fun parts of the server, are unknown. And it's in this time when I really worked at the goal of 100 messages, later 200 messages per day, and I'd hit it every single day, week after week, month after month, for almost a year. On July 21st, 2018, my fancy server guide color changed once more, from a light blue to a darker blue, showing the merger between global advisor and server guide roles. And one of my favorite memories of the time was just before the release of clans in Last Day on Earth. Seeing and working with the staff making a clan, I remember the excitements of getting ready to join and all of that. From the top of the mountains to inside of a building when the fire alarm went off, true story, but a false alarm, I was at the Discord with them, in public and private chats, just enjoying my time. And as time went on, that was it. Then, everything changed yet again. I remember the moment where it happened very vividly. Exactly where and when I was at a hotel after a long day at Universal Studios in Los Angeles on December 31st, 2018. I checked Discord one last time, and to my surprise, see a message from Kitty, aka Fallen, asking if I was interested in becoming a moderator. To my surprise, since I'd been enjoying the staff life, I said yes. The enjoyment era was over. Originally, going into this role, I thought moderators were a lot more like Global Advisors 2.0 with just a different role color. However, what I didn't realize was how much mods move into other directions. Being a YouTuber, my eyes immediately drifted to the content creator system. and after a couple of conversations with the lead developer Cloud, in which I am slightly regretful for some of the positions I took at that time, it became abundantly clear where the content creator system was headed: a merger. Poking at the community manager's direction, I was redirected to another community manager who sent me passages on passages which will remain seared in my mind forever. March 29th, 2019, the first day I learned about this, the partner program. To that, the small and almost innocent-like content creator, he was excited, about to become an average-sized fish in an average-sized pond. What he didn't realize was the ache that would come with everything. As with most aspects on the Last Day on Earth Discord, while I was busy, a friend and I were walking on the edge of a street, doing something stupid. The partner program launched. However, what soon followed in the coming days was not at all what I expected, or what anyone really could have expected for that matter. I don't think the admins could have, I don't think the developers could have, I don't think anyone could have. All that followed in the coming weeks were that of chaos, and I'm not going to go into too much further detail, but in angst of trying to prevent the entire system from destroying itself within the first few days, I ended up in a group chat with 2, later 4 of the admins in plans of what would come next. The next era had begun. As the admins and I worked on fixing up some of the issues that arisen from the rushed partner stuff, I remember seeing them occasionally make quips about the possibility of a ZD and first ever YouTuber admin. While the topic would come up, I'd never say anything along the lines of excitement, or I don't wanna or don't wanna be admin directly. Maybe I just answer with an emote or something like that. But no words in fear of tipping any balance. On July 2nd, 2019, I really got the chance to prove everything to myself, to other admins, and to the server itself as chaos broke out following an issue with the clan contest. In my mind, I feel like I didn't do enough to help that day, whether it was calming the anger waves or spamming paragraphs even though I was in the middle of 100-degree weather. Even today, as I write this script, I do not feel like I did enough. Yet, somehow, despite every hesitation I have, 2 days later, on my way to the July 4th, 2019 parade, I was flooded with notifications and excitement. Congratulations, as a purple hue radiated from the letters ZDYT. I remember seeing messages everywhere, from admins, staffers, developers, the whole lot. And in the middle of a Starbucks with terrible Wi-Fi, there I was trying to reply to all of them. Find a way to say thank you. Truly, I was grateful, excited to see what the next era would bring. However, like with many past experiences on this crazy journey, you never really know what you find yourself into, and totally unprepared for what's about to come next. If there's one thing you should know about being an admin on the Last Day on Earth server, it is how tired and drained it can make you if you're not careful. If you're ever in public chats and you see me or maybe the other admins joking about it, it may seem funny at first, but on the opposite end, that's where you are at the end of the day. I first noticed my message activity starting to slip right after I got admin. Gone were the days of 100 messages per day. That's a lot that goes into the role. You'd really be surprised, so it's no wonder I saw activity slipping. But this much, wow. When you move into it day by day, hour by hour, there really isn't a whole lot to worry about. It doesn't feel like too much of a crazy ride for the role. However, looking back at the entire journey as a whole, yes, it's been one crazy ride. With life picking itself back up and throwing it itself in my face, it makes sense my activity would fall. However, unlike years before, I don't know why or exactly how to pick it back up while maintaining YouTube and this little fragment of a life. There really isn't a whole lot to say in describing that time. It's been a slow time of passing by, really muddying my thoughts about the Discord. I still did find the occasional behind-the-scenes partner stuff, but felt like I lost what got me there in the first place, the hardcore public chat discussion and just flat out being there. The reason why I start with this quote is to rediscover the motivation to be in chats day in and day out. Last Day on Earth has jumped headfirst into the non-stop seasons with no plans to stop, and resulting in dozens of complaints from both new and old players at an all-time high. I know, myself, I am definitely guilty of this. There's no denying the community has changed a lot from back where it was in 2018. So, one of the questions that has stuck with me throughout all of my time on Discord, but more importantly ever in this time was that earlier quote from Leo, "What motivates you to be in chat?" If you were to ask me that question at the very start of my journey, and in present day, my answers would be wildly different. Back then, I wanted a voice, to find some way not only to bridge the gap between the community through YouTube, but Discord as well. However, now I look at it from an entirely new angle. It's a Discord server at the end of the day, and ultimately, you're there to enjoy yourself. I don't want to be the default strict staff. It's during this time period where I really worked to be more laid back, really more chill in the approach. Honestly, if you find me in chats, I'll probably be making some self-deprecating jokes about YouTube, clickbait, or something like that. It's about rediscovering the fire that draws you back into public chats. Obviously, I've still got a ton of stuff to do. I don't feel like I'm doing enough where I'm at. Yet, when I look at my activity and look back, it's a lot. I'm aware that this path puts me at a crossroads, which is exactly why this title is the way it is. I can either rediscover the old days of enjoying the game, or I can fall back into the small activity where I was. But more than anything, I just want to leave a mark. Something to show ZD was here. In all honesty, I haven't been the biggest fan of Last Day on Earth and synonymously the Last Day on Earth Discord's chosen direction. I think I've been very vocal about that on YouTube, on Twitter, and even the Discord itself. I wish there was some way to go back to the good old days, to the better times when this was a very much fun thing to do, both on the side of YouTube and Discord side. Sprinting for updates, but with a purpose. I mean, I still do those things now, but the run feels so empty, no meaning behind it. I wonder, is the race still fun to run? The fun part about the future is how it loves to throw you for a loop every single time you think you can predict it. Nothing is ever purely set in stone, and I feel like my journey over the past 3 years on the Last Day on Earth Discord is perfect evidence of that. I'd like to think something is different and better 5 years down the line, but judging at how crazy and unpredictable these last few years have been, I can't bring an accurate prediction to write down for this script. I've met some incredible people, perhaps some I even like to consider as friends. Some I've gotten to know outside of Discord, like staffers on Instagram. If you're a staff member, go follow my Instagram. I could not be more ready to look at what the future has in store for Discord and my journey going forward. As I've started the story with a question, I'd like to end it with one. And while this question is largely directed at staff and myself, I suppose it can be answered by anyone. Where would you be without the Last Day on Earth server? Would it affect you at all? Is it just another stop in the road of life, or is it something else entirely? And I suppose, finally, after this documentary, I'm able to give a very specific answer to that. But are you? Especially LDOE staffers, and even people in the community. Hey everyone, ZDYT here. I hope you enjoyed that kind of thing. It's a totally different style than anything I've ever tried before, but every so often I do like to take the opportunity to step out of the comfort zones and try a totally new, different style of content. Because that's kind of what YouTube's about, right? There's an Easter egg in here for my next project somewhere, but I don't even know if I'm going to end up showing that eventually. Maybe not even in the breakdowns, I don't know. I hope you enjoyed this, and if your name isn't on the ending list, I'm sorry, I've got way too many people to thank, but I definitely want to conclude this video off in a reasonable time frame and manner. ZD out.